Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over some stationery products that I think are overrated, underrated, and then perfectly worth their hype. So without further ado, let's get started. The Zebra Mild Liner is probably the most favorited highlighter in the stationery community. And although I can appreciate it for the amount of range of colors that you can purchase and the fact that they're very good for decorations for bullet journaling, they don't do too well serving their primary function, which is a highlighter. I would say these are more markers than highlighters, and although it comes with this dual end tip, the bullet tip mushes out very quickly, so it doesn't stay very fine and pointy, which kind of makes it a nuisance for underlining. In terms of smudging, as I said, it's kind of more similar to a marker, so you do get a lot of smudge and a lot of bleed through. So in terms of functionality as a highlighter, they're not very good, and I think that they are overhyped. I think there are much better highlighters out there, and yes. Another cult classic in the stationery community is the Muji Gel Pen, and I know I'm going to be absolutely flamed in the comments for this, but I don't like these pens. Regardless of whether I'm writing with a 0.7, 0.5, or 0.38, because I do own them all, the amount of smudge that I get from these pens, it just drives me crazy, especially because I'm left-handed. Not only that, but the ink does ghost and even bleed through on the majority of papers, and as you step down in tip size, the intensity of scratchiness just goes up exponentially. It is such a noticeable difference, and they're just uncomfortable to write with as well. I'm not a fan of the barrel, even with the newest click barrel clicky one. I don't like that one either. I think that they are overhyped, and I do think that there are much better gel pens in the market. In terms of the Uni Ball One, I am talking exclusively about the ink because I actually really like the body on both the Uni Ball One regular size and this little stubby banana guy. Absolutely adore the body, and it has a nice spring-loaded clip that I love as well. But the ink is where it falls short. Every time I write with the Uni Ball One, whether it is ones that I've owned or even tested in store, they always skip. I'm not sure if it's a problem with the actual ball in the tip, but every time I get an inconsistent ink flow, and it does drive me crazy because I can feel it exactly as it's happening. I don't know if you can see under the camera, which is why I went in with a pink little gel pen to better show you in which places the ink skipped, just to kind of get you to better see it. Again, I'm not sure if it showed up on camera, but as I'm writing, it was just super inconsistent, and I always find that it is. It is not exclusive to the ones that I've purchased. Next is the Zebra Sarasa clip. This is the original one. I do like the ink flow on this one. It is nice and juicy, but holy smudge, just kind of same complaints as the Muji. This one, wowzers, I can't do anything without it smudging, and so even though it's a really smooth write, just the amount of smudging for me drives me crazy, and it gets a thumbs down. I'm not saying that I hate this pen by any means, I just think that it is overhyped for the amount of smudge that it does provide. Moving on from my overhyped, let's get into my underhyped. The Unipropus highlighter is everything that the Zebra Mild Liner wishes it was. Eek! Not only is it also dual-ended, but the dual end stays at a nice sharp point. This is so much better for underlining and small accents. It also includes a little window in the highlighter so you can see exactly where you're highlighting, and it is very lefty friendly. Not only that, but the ink lasts an extremely long time, and a single pack of these has lasted me over 6 years. And the smudging is much better. This is a Muji pen. Look how much reduced in smudge it was. Just for comparison, I'm going to show you the mild liner smudging compared to the Propus, and ba-bam, look at that, beautiful. The Zebra Sasa Dry is like they took all of the issues with the Zebra Sasa and then just perfected them. This pen is 100% smudge proof. You can see I'm really getting in there almost excessively, and it's hardly budging, and that was immediately after. If you're wondering why I'm using the Uni Ball body, it's just because I prefer it, but this is the Sasa Dry ink. And then I'm going to go over it with the mild liner, which as we know is super duper smudgy, and it didn't even smudge. The reason why I highlighted twice is just because my highlighter had some leftover ink and I didn't want you guys to get the wrong impression. So now you can see no residue. Love that. You're probably like, who the hell is this? Because not a lot of people know about this pen, and it's actually one that I just picked up from Staples on a whim. But this is the Uni Ball Erasable Gel Pen, and I much actually prefer it to the Pilot Friction in a lot of cases. I think the ink flow is much smoother, I think it erases cleaner, and although it's not as saturated in pigment, the overall writing experience is my preference in terms of erasable gel pens. I don't usually reach for an erasable gel pen, but if I do, it'll likely be this one. The Uni Kurutoga is such a unique mechanical pencil with a spring-loaded system to protect your lead at every twist and turn. No matter how I write with this pencil, the lead has not broken once, and although you do have to get used to the way that it writes, once you do, it is such a reliable mechanical pencil and so underrated. Now, moving on to products that are worth the hype. The Tombo Brush Pen just is such an amazing brush pen. That's all that there is to it. Not only does the ink last forever, but it is such a beginner-friendly brush pen, especially if you're new to hand lettering. It's really accommodating and you can get the hang of it pretty quickly. It is also dual tip, so you do get that finer point, and as you can see in terms of hand lettering, it is just such a comfortable experience and so many colors. I love them. The Pentel Sign Brush Pen is another amazing brush pen. This one's so good for headers and kind of smaller lettering. You can get a really fine tip and also pretty decent width. It has a little more bounce back to it, so it is not as user friendly, but it is by far my favorite in terms of the size, even more than the Tombo Fundosuke. The UniJet Stream Ink is by far my favorite ballpoint pen ink of all time. It is so pigmented, yet so smooth, and it is just so reliable. You can also get this ink in a number of uni bodies, the pen bodies of course, so that is really helpful as well. The Pentelenerel CLA is just a beauty. It has this super fine needlepoint tip, and yet it writes very smoothly. The ink is extremely pigmented, and it also resists smudging very well. Those are the products that I think are worth the hype. But wait, there's one more. The Pilot Parallel Pen is not just a great alliteration, it's a great pen, and I forgot about it because I had to re-record this video over because my phone ran out of storage, so forgive me. But this one is probably one of my favorites to do headers in my hobonichi or when I'm bullet journaling. You get this really nice thick edge, and then also a finer one as well. It's just a glory to write with. It's just super fun. It does smudge like crazy because it's really hecka juicy, but as long as you allow it to dry, it'll be your best friend forever. That is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully my opinions didn't trigger anybody too hard, but if you'd like to leave me a hate comment, feel free to do so. I will see you all next time. Thank you so much. Bye bye.